Have you ever gone onto eBay and seen something that you thought was a little bit weird? Uh, in my case, I saw a 4070 Ti for $500, and it wasn't just one, it was several. And I'm going to be honest with you, I thought that the seller would cancel me. Cancel me? I thought they would cancel on me. Here's the thing. Within the day that I ordered this, it shipped, which was kind of weird to me, because it does come from a residential address. I have that all blocked off on here, hopefully. It's the plan. As you can see, I have this PC. It's a little bit dirty, but it's pretty much all new. I have a crazy Be Quiet cooler in here, really just because I really hate water cooling. I think AIOs are a little bit stupid in my opinion. You can hate me for that. It is what it is. So I've got a 14700F in here, and currently it has a 3060, just a normal 3060. I wanted to wait until I had a deal on a graphics card before I decided to get rid of the 3060. However, today I'm doing this not only so that I can prove to eBay if it is not exactly what I ordered or if it's broken. First things first, we're gonna get in here. I have a little knife. We're gonna get in here and we're gonna see, is this going to be an actual 4070 or is this going to be a scam? Okay, alrighty, and it's pretty good in here. Some decent packaging for a seller with 5 items. We're gonna lay that down here. This seems to be reused from something. I don't really know what it is. Yeah, I mean, it's got a bunch of bubble wrap on here, so at least they're trying. Okay, I'm just gonna cut it. Oh my gosh, okay, the tape does not end. Okay, I wasn't supposed to do that, but hold your horses. I see the Accelerate logo. Okay. So the one I had ordered was an Accelerate 4070. This thing is massive. This looks new. It even has the things on the sides. What? Okay, so the seller said that it was open box, never used, I think. I've got to double check that. I'll put that on screen. But it still has plastic over the ends here, which is what's confusing me. What I do seem... Okay, no, I was just about to say. Okay, so I was just about to say this. It looks like we do have the cable adapters for the 12-pin. So two... I don't know the exact terminology. I think it's PCIe, PICE. So it's two PCIe cables that convert into the 12-pin. Is it Lightning or... This isn't an MSI board. I don't really know what it is. This thing is massive. Okay, just so that we're aware, my first graphics card, I still have it somewhere. It was really old, like GT something. I don't even know. This is a whole different story. I mean, keep in mind, the 3060 is still a big card. I mean, it is still a big card compared to an RX 580. This is a 3-fan masterpiece. And I'm sorry, my cat is against the door. He's swishing against my door right now, so there's that. Go away! Please. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take the shrink wrap off because I don't know if it needs to be taken off, but I don't want to mess anything up. Like I said earlier, there is a 14700F in here, so to get it to run, it does need discrete graphics. And it's actually what's on screen now, so it is working and displaying out on my 3060. This test that I have set up right here is only HDMI, but I will use the other whenever necessary. I will point out, even this bottom here, I mean... Sorry, this is just incredible. I'm going to be completely honest with you. There was only one image. Okay, and this guy said he was selling multiple. So either he just robbed a Best Buy, or I got a crazy deal on a 4070 Ti. Now, at the time of recording this video, The 5070, which is a little bit better performance, I think, was around 550, sometimes trailing up to 600, depending on what model you got, especially if you got an overclocked one. But this one was only 500 plus tax plus shipping. So it wasn't like, you know, that cheap, but still 4070 Ti in 2026. That's crazy. Okay, so we have powered off the system, but I already know there's going to be somebody telling me to wear an ESD bracelet. If you touch the side, like the metal parts of your case, you're probably fine, especially when it's turned off. Don't ever work on your computer when it's turned on. That is a really bad idea. Okay, so first thing that we need to do is actually right here. See these screws? We need to take this out. So we're going to unscrew these and try not to mess anything up in the process. I got this screwdriver, this Be Quiet screwdriver, not sponsored by the way, right here. Like I said, this block is massive. It literally sits on top of the RAM, which I will show you in a minute. But the cooler is like the fan on it right here. This actually comes up. That way you can put your RAM in and then sit that down so that it just barely sits on top of the RAM. I should be able to just pull this out. Now, first thing, you'll notice my cable management wasn't good when I was building this because I knew I was going to be putting something else in here that required 2 of these. So we unplug it. We have our terrible cable management here, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. We should now, actually, I am going to unplug this case fan. Listen, I can give you guides, but it's more like a we'll get there eventually instead of a I'm a professional. I'm by no means a professional. This might help if I take out the correct screws. This thing is amazing, by the way. Be Quiet. If you ever want to sponsor me, I would appreciate it. I love the basic things like this magnetic tip on the end. It helps. But yeah, so now we can just take this card out, and this is our 3060. It's a little dusty, but it's not that bad. But we're gonna move this to the side, and we bring out the big boy. All right. So first thing we're gonna do is actually find the connector. All right, connector is in place. Now we're gonna leave these hanging for a moment. It's gonna go right in here. Make sure that this is unlocked. When you don't plan things out very well, you get videos like this. But if you enjoyed this for whatever reason, you know, hit that subscribe and like button. I'd appreciate it. Okay, after much tinkering, it took a little bit. There's not a whole lot of clearance on this side of the motherboard to actually get this thing in there. And I think it's because there's probably a little bit more here, and it doesn't help having this massive cooler here to, hopefully I didn't scratch anything, and hopefully we'll be good. I'm gonna go ahead and screw in these right here, if I can actually get to them. So yeah, this is a bit of a weird upgrade. Like I said, the 4070 Ti is not that old, but it's at the point where, like, if you're finding them new for $500, you'd think there's something sketchy going on. Okay, if we didn't screw anything up and this card works, we should see something on this screen in a second. And we've got at least HDMI out. We'll have to test for other things, but we're booting right in. Now we are on a TV, so this might be a little awkward. And it says right here 4070 Ti. So that's good. Let's open the NVIDIA app, and we are on Wi-Fi at the moment, which is not ideal on all GeForce RTX GPUs. Something tells me that isn't exactly true. I'm not 100% positive on that. Okay, I've got you on a bit of a better view here. Not perfect, this feels like 2008. We are gonna download the drivers. Is it detecting? Let's look at our system real quick. Okay, so on here it is showing my i7 14700F, and right here, NVIDIA's GeForce RTX 4070 Ti. So this does look to be a genuine 4070 Ti. Now, to 100% test this, we're going to download the graphics drivers for it. Like I said, it's probably gonna take a little bit. It's over Wi-Fi. Wow, somebody's going crazy on a motorcycle outside. But while I've got you here, obviously we're going to improve this for sure. We're definitely going to improve this. This is just what we have right now. I know it's not great cable management, not great case for the actual stuff that we're putting in here, but man, just look at this thing. Are the fans spinning? They aren't, but they aren't necessarily under any load. That's interesting. Okay, so we're back only after a couple minutes. I didn't think it was gonna be that bad. But we are on, like I said, 4070 Ti. It's showing the 12 gigabytes of memory. But it says it's at 27 Celsius, so I can understand why the fans aren't moving. It's not exactly under any load, which we will put it under during this. Trust me, I'll put you on screen in a minute, but I want to get through this installation first, and then we'll go on OBS. So while this is going on, I thought I would just show this. This is one that I kind of looked at. It's a 5070 OC, so it's overclocked at 530, which is pretty much what I paid for the 4070. And yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. It did flash. It did correctly install. Hold on. So we did install to this version 491.74. So let's hop over onto our OBS and let's get a benchmark. Okay, so scratch that. We will be doing that for whenever we run games, but I do want to run a firmmark benchmark real quick. And I want to see how we're doing. Right now, our average is 287. I know it's a little bit cut off on the left side over there, but there's not much I can do. I'll get you your final here in a second. I do want to mention we're up to 67C now. All three fans are spinning. Oh, okay, and we have our final score here. So our max usage was 98%, so it was using the full thing. We did it for 60 seconds on 1920 by 1080. We could do 1440. I don't have that support on this TV, obviously, but it does recognize that it is good. Our score was 17,047 points. I'm gonna look up and see if that's accurate for a 4070 TV. So I'm gonna show y'all, this was the actual score that we got. Our max FPS, I think our average was 284, which on 1080 during a firmmark appears to be pretty dang well. I do have Parsec on this machine, so that's why this shows up, but it's not actually doing any work, obviously. What I will notice is these PCI IDs. I looked these up. These are actual legit 4070 Ti IDs, so they should be correct. How about let's go and get into some tests. I'm gonna move this into my main room, and then we'll get this going. All right, so I recorded this benchmark in Marvel Rivals, and as you can tell, it's holding on pretty strong. Now, this was during my undervolt, so if you don't know about undervolting, I recommend that you look it up, but it does allow you to have more performance by using a little less power and a slightly higher clock speed. This was a 1080p test with pretty much all low settings. I do have NVIDIA Reflex, like low latency or whatever it's called, but at the end here you can actually see the difference between all of those tests that I ran without the undervolt and in this last test with the undervolt. And in game, there was a similar story. In most action scenes, I was able to get about 150 to 160 FPS. Now, keep in mind, this game, I think, is a little more CPU heavy, but at the same time, it has some demanding graphics with some of like the effects and all that. Most of that is kept under wraps when you have it all on low, but I think this gave a good representation of what it's like to use this graphics card. I wanted to do tests where I tested other games that I'm interested in, games like Fortnite, Destiny 2, similar to that. Most of those are more CPU bound, and I don't have too many games I'm playing right now that are super demanding on graphics, but if y'all want to see an updated video on that, let me know down below. And so that brings us to our benchmarking. So with the 4070 Ti, our first time with no overclocking, no undervolting, I used Marvel Rivals as a good baseline benchmark tool because of how poorly optimized it is. It is absolutely a disaster for optimization, but I was able to prove that with an undervolt, I was able to get, I think, roughly around 20 more FPS. And even if it wasn't in the average, I noticed it overall that I was spiking a lot higher with a slightly higher clock speed, but a lower voltage. I settled in around, I think, 2600 megahertz with about a 0.95 millivolts. And so now comes to the question, Max, would you recommend buying a graphics card off of eBay? Yes and no. Yes, if you're buying something in this condition, especially if you're not sure if it's going to work. Because if they say it's going to work, a lot of the times eBay protection will actually assist you very easily on something like this. In my case, if this wasn't exactly what I ordered, which I didn't think it was going to be, but it was, I would have gone to eBay and I would have shown them the video of me opening it up, trying it out, and realizing, oh, hey, it doesn't actually work. In my case though, it worked out, and it was actually one of the best deals I've ever gotten. At the time I'm making this video, there's actually 2 of these still left, so I'm not gonna link the listing, but if you can find the listing online, which wouldn't be that hard, go ahead and get one for yourself if you want it. Like I said, in my case, it was very good. In your case, if you're watching this far out into the future, there's gonna be times where you may be able to find a deal like this. Or maybe you can't. Maybe the market in a year is terrible. Who knows? But I do know right now 5070s and 5070 Ti's are getting harder and harder to get your hands on. A lot of them are going up in price as I'm making this video. So if you're trying to get a mid-range to high graphics card, the 4070 Ti is a good idea, in my opinion. Anyways, if you've made it to this point in the video, hit that like button, subscribe, and pretty soon I'm actually going to be making a budget 2026 AM4 build. So stay tuned for that, all right? See you in the next one.